Okay, guys. All right, guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and of course, this is still the voice of my dad trends, as you all know. And guess what? We were discussing about the South African election, which was conducted yesterday, and there seems to be a shift on what is happening right now. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, South African election is what we are discussing. It's just like the previous time we had the Nigerian election, and now it's South African election. Economic freedom fighter, of course, wrote and said, "We extend our heartfelt gratitude to all of you for braving the long queues, the good and the incompetence of the IEC to make sure that you are part of the historic election 2024. All right, ENCA projects that the ANC will lose its national majority for the first time. Wow. That ENCA have said that these people will lose their, ENCA projects that the ANC will lose its national majority for the first time in the history. Wow. For the first time, of course, with fortified democratic South Africa and land on 45% election analysts have sell the details. So, guys, of course, that's the news right now. ENCA projects that the ANC will lose its national majority for the first time in a democratic South Africa and land on 45%. And that's gonna be a very crazy one if such thing happens to happen. Bigotry being rejected in South Africa. Bondo oh 07 have said bigotry being rejected in South Africa. Early result in South Africa election shows ANC losing majority. Early results, early result is not actually the final result, but for the first time, of course, in South Africa, early results have shown that ANC is losing the majority. ANC is losing the majority, and that's the early result, of course, in South Africa. Election was conducted yesterday, and of course, it's all about result collection. And now the news right now is that ANC is losing majority for the first time in South Africa. That's a big news. Sorry, that's a shocking news rather. Dubai life coach says South Africa election is focused. Saudi Arabia plans 100 billion aromatic offer, whatever. So, guy, the challenge right now, of course, the most shocking part of it is that I have shown early results in South Africa have shown is losing majority. So, what could that detail you? What could happen as the election continues? First result announced from South African Graphic Online. This is the first result, of course, that has been announced in South Africa projection national results from South Africa. You guys, let me bring it clearly. This is the first result, of course, announced in South Africa. Right. Okay. Let's take a look at this. All right, guys, you can see it. This is actually the first result which was announced in South Africa. And from here, you can see that ANC at this point, projection national result, ANC was at 42%. If I'm to say, ANC was at, let me bring this thing clear. So it's going to be very, very clear. All right. ANC, as you guys can see from here. Okay. All right. From projection national results, ANC was at 42.3% and DA was at 21.8%. MK was at 13.16 percent, EFF 9%, IFB 3.5%, PA 2.2%, FF plus 1.5%, minus 0.9, and Action SA is at 1%, Rise Msamzi 0.4%, and Bosa is at 0.3% projection national result. And from here now, ANC seems to be leading, but then in the current results that I have right here, in the current results right now, it shows that for the first time, ANC is losing majority for the first time. Okay. All right. The result, of course, this is still early results, like just like I have said, and not the final results. So far, so good. And the news also say that bigotry being rejected in South Africa. Early result in South Africa election shows ANC losing majority. That's coming from Reuters. ANC is losing majority, as you guys can see from the news. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's this the very important news and very important update. Early result in South Africa election shows ANC losing majority. You can see that. So I think this is a very important time in South Africa. Honestly, it's a very important moment for everyone. South African election results starts coming in. Trend shows ANC losing ground. This is another shocking news, and I believe that this is gonna be a shock to so many people. Now let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this from here. If today is the first day you're coming across my channel, kindly subscribe and turn on the notification bell for updates. And let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. All right, South African election results is what we are discussing about. Let me get it first. All right, South African results have indicated. Can you guys see that? It shows that from the news here, South African election results starts coming in. Trend shows ANC losing ground. ANC losing ground. That's the message. South African election results starts coming in. Trend shows that ANC is losing ground. And that's gonna be a big shock, definitely, if such. But that's early results anyway. So that simply means that there is no time for any party to rejoice yet until the final result. The results are coming in already, counting in underway in the just concluded general election in South Africa. Early results South African, of course, election puts ruling ANC below 50% short of majority. Another breaking news. News posts have said that early results in the South Africa election puts ruling ANC below 50% of short majority. The African National Congress appear on course to lose the parliamentary majority it has held for 30 years. Partial results from South African national election showed in what would be the most dramatic political shift since the end of apartheid. All right. So, guys, the elections are say coming in, and the news right here: the African National Congress appeared on course to lose the parliamentary majority it has held for 30 years. That's a massive. That's gonna be massive for over 30 years. The African National Congress appear on course to lose a seat that has been taken for over 30 years. All right, guys, of course, the election It's the ongoing South Africa election, ANC losing majority. This is the day South Africa decide. Sri Ramaphosa is a South African businessman and politician serving as the fifth and current president of South Africa. Voila. So if you're joining me for the first time for this South African Decide today, and you can see from here, the news reads. All right. And this is the news as it is right here. ANC is actually losing at this point. ANC is losing at this point, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the news as we have right here. So this is a South African Decide, and it's still going on. And a lot of news are coming in right now. South African election, ANC losing majority. And that's gonna be a very big shock, and it's already a shock to so many people because but it's a South African that will decide who's gonna when there is a very fair election. Definitely the people's choice we take place. And now South African election, ANC losing majority. This is the day South African decide. Sri Ramaphosa is a South African businessman, and of course, definitely today is the day for the election, for the result. All right, another result, of course, from pilot post, of course, 2024 South African election result. This is the result that just came in now, 25 seconds ago. 25 seconds ago. Now let's take a look at this result. Let's take a look at this result. 25 seconds ago, ladies and gentlemen, 25 seconds ago, and this is the result as you can see from here. Can you guys see it from here? 25 seconds ago. Let me bring it. It's a very powerful time in South Africa right now. And of course, this is the time that everybody's waiting for to see who's gonna be the next president. Who's gonna be the next president? All right. So, guys, from here you can see it. ANC 43.10% and a total vote of 879,935 votes. YDA is at 24,900 and of course 900 and what was that 24.97. That's DA 508,529 votes, and EFF is at 8.37%. You can see it from here. Why this one is at EFF is 8.73%, 177,868 votes. That's plus 0.13. And MK is 8.13%, and that's 165,601 votes plus 0.005. And ladies and gentlemen, as it is, the news have said that ANC is losing majority. Meanwhile, from here, we can see that ANC is actually leading. All right, ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is actually a live vote that is going on right now. You can see it from here. The live vote that is going on, national ballot that is going on right now. This is the live vote. And the news have said that ANC is losing majority. That's the news. And how will it be? South Africa decided is going on. The election has been conducted yesterday, and today is now the time for the results collection. Definitely, this is time for the results collection, and this is what is happening. The national ballots, party and votes. As the news is still going on, the result collection is still as well going on. So, guys, the points now is that who's gonna win, and that is still a massive question, which a lot of people still need to know. All right, guys, early results in South Africa election puts ruling ANC below 50% and short of majority. That's still the news that is going on. This is the latest news. Early results in South Africa election puts ruling ANC below 50% and short of majority. Okay. Early election results of the South African general election showed that the ruling African National Congress, led by President Cyril Ramaphosa, is leading. All right. So from here now, ANC is leading. ANC is leading, guys. Early election result of the South African general election shows that the ruling African National Congress (ANC), led by President Cyril, the current president, is actually leading, followed by the main opposition, the Democratic Alliance. So as it is right now, of course, ANC is actually leading, and that's what I actually wanted to bring up. Now it's very crystal clear here. So, as expected, as expected, ANC is leading. The incumbent president is actually leading, guys. That's the percentage here. That's the percentage here. You can see it from here. The incumbent president is leading. The incumbent president is actually leading right here, and I believe that's a very massive one for him. That's a very massive one for him, honestly speaking. The incumbent president is leading. You can see it from here, and that's it. ANC is leading. ANC is leading right here, as you guys can see. ANC is actually leading in votes. African National Congress, they're actually leading, followed by the main opposition party. ANC is leading, followed by main opposition party. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The current, of course, administration, ANC, total vote of 825,000. That's total vote of African National Congress, total vote of 825,000. Why you can say its percentage 42.91%. That's a very big margin right there. 42 point, can you see that? Percentage. ANC is leading, and you can see the percentage right here, 42.91. That is African National Congress. The incumbent president is leading a total vote of 825,024. That's early lead. And the main opposition party, which is DA, is second with 483,110. And the percent, you can see the difference. The gap, the margin is very wide. But then this is actually early lead. You can see it. This is actually early lead. So as it is right now, ANC is actually leading. Why, of course, Democratic Alliance is in the second position. In South Africa, it is the parliament that elects the president. As such, in South Africa, it is the parliament that elects the president. As such, the ruling party has to have a majority in the parliament. About 27.6 million people out of country's 62 million population registered to vote in yesterday's election. And early results have indicated that the ruling party ANC, that was African National Congress, ANC, led by President Cyril, is leading the opposition party, Democratic Alliance, with a very large gap. Do you understand that? The margin is very, very huge. So it simply means that and now another news says that ANC is seen losing majority. DA and Zuma's party performing well. You can see that news. This news now says, and that news says ANC is seen losing majority. Why in the other one I share ANC is gaining? Do you get the point now? So we'll see to that. We'll see to the very end of it. So because this news here, we see that if you check this one here, you see that ANC have a very high. Can you see that? You can see it, right? ANC 42 point yeah 42.91. YDA is 25. Democratic Alliance 25.13. Now in the other news now have said that ANC is losing majority, which is parliament. And in South Africa, it is parliament that decides. Now, the news says that ANC is losing the majority. And if ANC loses the majority, it might affect the current president, that's Cyril, to remain in power. The election was actually yesterday. It was yesterday that they conducted the election. Now, the result is what is coming out now. What you need to know today, ANC projected to lose majority in South Africa election. White House looks to nuclear to help meet climate goals. All right. Political shift. Political shift in South Africa. ANC looks set to lose majority for first time since end of apartheid. South African National Congress appears on course to lose the parliamentary majority it has held. If ANC, as it is, they are getting more votes, but now they are losing in parliament, which is the majority. So if they actually lose, now if they actually lose the majority, it will definitely affect them. That's the truth of the whole situation right now. So if they actually lose that, now look at this. Early South African election result puts ruling ANC below 50%, with just over 16% of votes so far. With just over 16% of votes counted and declared, it was only a partial picture after Wednesday's election. The final result of a vote that could bring the biggest political shift in South Africa's young democracy are expected to take days, with the Independent Electoral Commissioner saying they will be delivered by Sunday. South Africans are set waiting with bated breath to see if their country, Africa's most advanced economy, is about to see momentous change. The Electoral Commission was projecting a 70% vote turnout, up from the 66% in the last national election in 2019. The ANC won 57.5 of the vote in the last poll, its worst performance to date. This election was seen as a direct referendum on the unbroken three-decade rule of the ANC, which freed South Africans from the oppressive, racist apartheid regime and the famous all-race vote of 1994, but has seen a steady decrease in its popularity over the last 20 years. This year could be the tipping point when most Africans turn away from ANC and deny it a majority for the first time. The results that have been declared are from fewer than 4,000 of more than 23,000 polling stations across the nine provinces that make up South Africa, and there is a long way to go in the counting process. Nearly 28 million people out of African population of 62 million were registered to vote. So 28 million people actually voted in a country of population of 62 million. It is just about 4,000 polling units has been counted over 28,000 or 23,000 polling units. So you see that there is still a long way to go at this point. 4,000, of course, result has been declared, and ANC is losing the majority. And now South Africa is a population of approximately 62 million people. And out of the 62 million people, it was only 28 million people that actually registered for vote. And the result that has come out so far is only bet 4,000 results. 4,000 results have just come out now. And out of the 4,000, out of 23,000 polling stations across the nine provinces that make up South Africa, only 4,000 results has been caught so far. And out of that 4,000, ANC is losing majority. And in South African election, parliament is very, very vital and a key. And now ANC seems to be losing majority against its opposition, which is DA. And now the results so far will be collected from now till Sunday, and that's the news. So today is just Thursday. The election was conducted yesterday, and the people in charge have said that the counting will continue until Sunday. Early South African election results have put ANC below 50%, and that's gonna be a kind of a shift if they need to win. There's a massive shift right now. South African national election, 19.64 of votes have been counted so far. 19.64% of votes has been counted so far. And that's it. The South African election, only 19.64% of votes has been counted out of 100%. So we're still left with 81%. So no party should rejoice yet. ANC is actually having the major number of votes. ANC is 896,593, YDA is 516, 741. EFF is 181770. YMK is 168. Now, the party we are looking forward is DA. That's the main strong opposition party. Now, ANC is gaining number of votes, but losing majority, which is a very key factor. That's a very in South Africa. If you must win election, you must win the majority, which is the parliament. Now, for the first time in 30 years, that ANC is losing majority. So, what is actually happening? And ANC is Cyril. Cyril is the incumbent president in South Africa. Yeah, Cyril is the incumbent president in South Africa. So him losing majority will be a very big problem if ANC wants to retain the office. ANC hold 43.19 of votes in South Africa election after 19.64 of results counted. 19.64 result has been counted so far, and ANC hold 43.19 of those votes. But now they are losing majority. ANC is said to lose its majority in the parliament for the first time since the end of apartheid in South Africa, after preliminary election results were published. The party lost its popularity due to catastrophic economic and security results and widespread corruption. Internal glory. That's where the news came from. South African announces early election results in crucial polls. Completed election result expected by the weekend as counting continues across the country. The counting has begun, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, the news right here has indicated that NNC seems to be losing the majority. You can see it from here. That's the polling unit. And as it is right now, the news have said that as it is, ENC seems to be, losing it. And it's going to be, I mean, it's going to be difficult if ANC fails to win the parliament. Now, out of the 100%, only but 19.64%, only 19.6% vote has been counted across the country, a country of over 62 million population. And of course, in the 62 million population, only 28 million votes were registered. In out of the 28 million votes that were registered, 19.6% vote has been declared. And ANC have the highest number of votes. ANC is leading. They have 890 something, 896,000 votes, 566. YDA, the major opposition, have 508,000 votes, 633. And now you see the difference between these two people. ANC is at 42.1%, while DA is at 21.8%. But then in South Africa, parliament is a factor, is a key, and ANC have held parliament for the past 30 years. And today, from the results that has been shared so far, ANC is losing majority. And if ANC, which is Cyril, the current president, that's ANC, right? African National Congress, ANC. So if ANC lose its majority, which is the parliament, then it's gonna be difficult for them to win the election, because it is the parliament that decides majorly in South Africa as the constitution says. So now, from the news so far that we are sharing, you can see that ANC is getting votes, but now losing majority from the information we have at hand. it shows that ANC is losing majority from the information. I want to bring it out again for you know for us to see. I want to bring this is the result. Okay, let's go to the result right now. Back again to the result. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the results, and this is the result. All right, percentage, and this is ANC. Want it to be clear. All right, the percentage right there, ANC 42.91, DA 25%. So we are actually focusing on these two people. And now the results also have said that ANC seems to be losing majority. South African election results, ANC, DA, EFF, and MKP. So these are actually the three leading parties. And African National Congress, and of course, African National Congress is still having number of votes, but then losing majority. They're having number of percentage of vote is 42, and the result that has been calculated is just 19.6. That's the result that has been calculated so far. 19.6. That's the result which has been calculated so far, so good. And the news also said that they are losing, NC's losing majority. So if they actually happen ends getting this vote and losing majority, it's gonna affect them definitely. So guys, this is actually not the final result, as we all know. This is definitely of course you know early results. So early results cannot really be used to determine what happens in election, but then all fingers fixed across as the people of South Africans await who is gonna be the next president. Could it be Cyril, the current president, or another person? So now that is the breaking news. That is the most breaking news in Africa right now. Yeah, every African country attention has been drawn in South Africa because who's gonna be the next president is a very paramount in the mouths of all Africans all over the world. ANC center left. All right, NC still going far. From this chart, you see that NC is making waves. You can see from this chart right here. Okay, sorry, let me go back. Let's take a look at this. If you see this chart, you can see from here, ANC. You can see ANC where they are. I can see DA and EFF and FAP. You can see it from here. You see that ANC is gaining number of votes, but then the news says they are losing majority. Can you see that? This is the charts proving that NC is actually having number of votes. Yeah. So guys, that's it. This is the voice of Niger Trains. Of course, don't forget Niger Trains basically. The news ANC is losing majority, but then they are getting number of votes. So this is Niger Trains. It's for news, entertainment, politics, and definitely big border shows. That's it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. As of course, I will be giving you guys back-to-back updates as regards to South African election. All the updates you need to know, every breaking story, I will drop it here. So all you need to do is just subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you subscribe, you click on notification bell for more gist and more updates. Thank you guys.